to A Well-Designed Business. My name is LuAnn Nigara, and I'm so glad you found this podcast. Together with my husband Vince and our partner Bill, we have grown our company WindowWorks from the ground up. So I know and I understand the challenges you face in running your interior design business. I also know that your talent alone isn't enough to ensure your success. So on this podcast, we talk about strategies and practical steps to help you grow your business. But make no mistake about it, we have our share of fun here too, mixed in with those aha moments that I love so much. This isn't fluff. Nobody has time for that. Whether you are a new interior designer or a seasoned designer, I am here to help you create and to manage the kind of interior design firm that you dream of. It's straight talk and it's action. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, welcome to A Well-Designed Business. Today is a What Would Lou Do show. These are the shows where I answer your questions about the little challenging things, big challenging things that you face in your business. If you think that I could help you with one of those, go to LuAnnNigara.com/WWLD. All right. Today's question. Hi, LuAnn. I feel this is an issue that unfortunately a lot of women might need help with. You might remember me, and she reminds me of how I remember her, which I'm not going to share because she doesn't want to be remembered by all of you, okay? But the reason for sharing that with you is because she says, if you do remember me, I hope that you agree that I am not a flirtatious person, not one bit. And I want to tell you and share with you that this jives with my impression of her, okay? So she continues. Since I only went out into my own business 2 years ago, I need to hustle a fair bit to get new clients. One way I did this was to identify some very good high-end developers that are in line with the type of projects I used to work on when I worked for another studio. I approached these developers on LinkedIn, giving them a bit of background about myself and how I thought I might be able to be a positive impact on their projects. And I also asked for a meeting in their office or Zoom to present some of my past projects and learn more about their projects. Well, a few of them replied, and I got to meet some of the top developers in the most lucrative parts of London, and this was amazing. And then over New Year, when I was sending all my past clients a little box of nougats as a thank you, I also sent the nougats to these developers, both men and women, she says, by the way. And I didn't sign it as I didn't want it to become something too personal. So she says, I just said, thank you for helping our business to grow. Well, one of the wealthiest developers in London literally just sent an email to me to say thank you for the Xmas gift and shall we meet for a drink? So she said that was weird enough, but then that night at 10:46 p.m., he called her, okay? Now, she says, I didn't answer the phone, but I checked it. It is his number because it matches the number in his email signature. She says, I was pretty horrified that he would think of calling that late or that I would even consider taking a call that late, okay? So she says, what do you think we do in these situations? On one hand, I do not want to make him look or feel ridiculous. And also, on the other hand, I would love to work on one of his projects one day, but only if I had the fair opportunity to do it. No shady business, right? And she says, I like all things straight. I want to earn the work because I'm very good at what I want that I do, but I want to get paid for it in money, like grown-up business people, right? So she also says, I don't feel that I gave him any wrong ideas. I never met alone with him. He knows I have a boyfriend. He knows he's my father's age. He knows I'm his daughter's age. How would you resolve this situation? Trying to keep it professional. And I'm wondering, ideally, I almost want to try and make it like it never happened, okay? And she says, but I'm not sure what to do to this email that is sitting in my inbox asking me for a drink. Okay. So I have to say, I did not want this designer dealing with this in real time, waiting for this What Would Lou Do show to come out. Obviously, that she emailed me the minute she gets this email and this thing happens. So I did go back and forth with her a little bit, and I'm going to share some of the backstory with you. Okay. When I emailed her back, it turned out by the next morning, he called her again. Okay. And before I knew that, I was sort of, and maybe it's the Libra in me, I was sort of on the thing of like, you know what, maybe it was a butt dial. Who knows? I can't tell you the crazy things I do on my phone that I don't tend to do, right? And I'm a little wiggy about why are we going for drinks, but I'm not willing to say that's the worst thing ever. I mean, we do that as colleagues sometimes, right? It's the combination. It's the asking for drinks and then it's the 11 o'clock phone call, right? So if we could rule out that the 11 o'clock phone call was a mistake, but here's the thing that I learned. He called the next morning, early in the morning again, and then asked again, could we go for drinks? Okay. So now I'm like, all right, I don't like this. All right. So I asked her, what did she say the next morning when he called? And she said, is this about work? This meeting that you want for drinks? And he said, no, I'd just like to thank you. And she responded with, I have a few deadlines this month. I'll get back to you. So you see, I'm off the benefit of the doubt train now, right? I mean, it's clear. Okay. So here's the thing. He's very well known in the industry and he's important. And she would love to cultivate this relationship, but not if it means doing anything inappropriate, right? It's clear. But she's saying, how do I manage or salvage what could potentially be a great working opportunity for me one day without offending his ego in case it is him taking in that in direction, yet making sure that he understands that we're not going to have that sort of thing going into it. And she says, could I be reading too much into this? Could just be acting normally and, acting like none of this happened work? All right. And maybe, like she's saying, am I reading too much into it? She's saying he founded a extremely profitable development company himself. He's a total workaholic. And from what I hear, he finishes work around 11 every day. He is extremely smart. And I felt that he saw this that I was trying to make it in the industry and wanted to help me. Okay. So she ends with, I feel a lot of women are put into these situations and it would be great to learn how to manage them, because if I can manage them well, it may potentially kickstart my business if I could get the foot in the door with one of these things. Okay. So here's the thing. This is not good, right? I don't care if someone does work till 11 o'clock at night. They eat and do other things at normal hours and they can meet you at other times. Okay. And what I want to say is, and this is what I said to this designer, the biggest clue for me here is her intuition that this isn't appropriate. This is the number one thing. Always listen to your inside voice, your goddess voice. She will always lead you the right way. I know how nice this contact would be for you, but not at the expense of your integrity. And so in my email, I said all of these things and I said to her, now I'm asking you, sit quietly with yourself and ask, what is the right way to handle this? What action should I take that no matter the outcome, I will be happy and proud of myself? And I said to her, you know the answer. You know it. And then I said, once you come up with that answer, if you need help from me, taking it from what you want to accomplish, how to do it, and how to word it, come back to me. But the first thing is we have to determine what is the action that you want to take, right? This is the answer to all of the unknowns that you will ultimately face in your life and your career, is that sit and really listen. What is the true thing that you know is right for you? Okay. So I wrote that to her and she said, thank you, LuAnn. Yes, I would rather not go for drinks with him. 3 exclamation points. Okay. She said, I don't feel it's appropriate, even if he has no bad intentions. Now, what would be the best way of refusing the drinks without being rude and not letting him think that I now see him as a sexual predator, right? She said, because if it was a woman who I was trying to work with, and she said, let me take you out for a drink one evening, and I wanted her to know more about me so that we could potentially do work together, I don't know that I would have thought twice about it. I would have thought maybe that she's busy and she wants to meet me for drinks as opposed to sacrificing her work hours to meeting me. And because I wouldn't have a problem for a woman asking me for drinks, but I do with an older man, am I the one with the problem here? Is it all in my head from what I see happening around where the men take advantage of women, am I right to throw him into the category without proof? And my answer to this is, again, tap into your intuition. Tap into your intuition. I am 100% sure that you have had platonic meetings, conversations, interactions with both men and women in places other than a work setting. Think about it. It is possible to feel safe, to know someone's intentions regardless of the geography of the meeting. The key here is this exact situation has your radar blipping. This exact invitation does not feel right, right? Do we know if it is really okay or not? No. But in order to actually find out, you'd have to put yourself in a situation where your inner voice is already warning you not to go. You hearing me on this, right? So, as I've always told you that I've told my daughters, and now I'm going to tell all of you, you are all my work daughters out there, all right? Listen to you. You already know the answer. We cannot lump all men, all invitations, all women for that matter, in a box. The world is way too complicated for pat answers for all occasions. We personally establish our boundaries, and we personally are responsible for honoring them. This time, it doesn't feel right. Another time, an invitation by a male colleague may feel right, right? The key is to listen to yourself, to do what you know is the right thing, okay? I can't stress enough that when your inner voice is banging you on the shoulder, do not look the other way. And when you take it apart in that way, I think you'll agree with me. It's not the outside facts. It's not male, female, drinks, bar, after work. That's not really the red alarm here. That's not really it. Right? Every one of you listening, have you ever had drinks, coffee, anything with a colleague of the opposite sex and felt safe and felt like it was appropriate? It has happened. And maybe this would be the same, but her intuition is telling her it's not. And that is the most critical thing here. And that is what you must follow in your business in all areas. Okay? So, and before we end today, I want to go back to that morning phone call. All right. If we could roll back time, we can't. She emailed me after the phone call, right? I want to say that to critique that a tiny bit, to give you some tools for next time, if it happens to you or for this young lady, if it happens to her again, I want to first say, I like that you directly asked, does this have to do with work? Yay on you, right? Just ask the question. And when the response is, no, right? My only change would have been when he said, no, it's just a thank you. Rather than say you were under deadlines, I would have preferred that you kept on that direct train that you were on, that clarity that you were on. I would have preferred that you, instead of saying, what I would have preferred you to say is something along the lines of, well, that's not necessary. You thanked me by email, and truly the nougats were me thanking you for the meeting at your office. So we're square. And stop talking. Okay? Right? It's like, we don't need to thank you for thanking me, for thanking you for thanking me. Stop. You're making up a reason to take me to drinks in a bar. I know it. You know it. Let's stop this right now. Okay? If he were to push and say, oh, that's so silly, but I really want to, right? You stand your ground and don't make up excuses that he can work around, like you're busy, right? Yada, yada, right? Stay on the facts now. He might say, what's the big deal? We'll chat, we'll have a drink, we'll get to know each other. You can tell me about your work. You can say, no, of course. I'm not making it more than it is. I simply will not mix business in this way. If you want a meeting, I could stop by your office next week. I'd be happy to. You see, and here's the little thing here. I simply will not mix business this way, okay? Because we're not saying we never go have drinks with colleagues. We're saying this way. We're letting him, like a little nudge to him directly. You are crossing a line. You are crossing a line. And I'm not going to go on the other side of this line. So we don't say, oh, I never go to drinks with colleagues. We never say I meet colleagues after work because, you could be out meeting somebody else the following week and he could walk in. But I simply will not mix business this way. Okay. And then if he says it's, that's it, it's drinks or nothing, I'm not going to, refer you or consider you. Well, then, I know you already are thinking that too. You let him go. He's not interested in the work anyway. You're not losing an opportunity. There never was an opportunity, right? But if he were to say something like that, you could always end it with, well, I am disappointed that you feel this way. However, I'm still declining the meeting for drinks. Thank you. In any case, I do hope we meet again professionally and stop talking, right? So as always, I hope this was helpful, not only to my listener who wrote in, but to you in case you ever find yourself in this situation. Whether it's a tricky or maybe even icky situation like this one or a client with this one, I mean to say, maybe it's with a client, it could be with an employee, it could be a boss, it could be a vendor, it could be anybody trying to push those boundaries, okay? Whenever you aren't sure what to do, first clear out all of the shoulds and the coulds and the maybes and the what ifs out of your mind, right? Could it be okay? Should I go? Maybe I'll offend them if I don't. Clear all of that out of your mind and just ask yourself for the answer. Is this appropriate? Do I feel comfortable? Do I feel safe? Do I want to do this? Okay? And I promise you, you do know the answer. Don't second guess yourself. Listen to your inside voice, honor it, and act on it. Okay? All righty. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I 100% appreciate it and look forward to more of these What Would Lou Do questions. I love these episodes. They're so much fun for me, and I love to get to know you on this level. So thank you, and decide to be excellent. Thank you so much for joining me again today. This podcast is a production of WindowWorks, your resource for custom window treatments and awnings. To learn how we can help you on your next interior design project, go to www.windowworks-nj.com. And if you're interested in working with me on your business, either through masterminds or one-on-one coaching, or you want to know how to get my book, The Making of a Well-Designed Business, or you just want to know what's going on in the podcast land and where I'm going to be, all of that is found at LuAnn Nigara.com. Thank you so much. Have an excellent day.